If you're looking for a way to never work again, improve your finances, and double your monthly income, this video is for you. Discover 15 proven habits that have led many to financial freedom and a significant increase in earnings. No matter where you are on your journey to financial stability, these habits can make a big difference. If you're ready to transform your financial situation, keep watching and learn how to adopt these 15 habits to boost your income. Habit 1. Set your life goals. To achieve financial independence, it's crucial to clearly define what it means to you. What are your aspirations? Financial freedom varies from person to person, so set your own goal. Be specific about your goals, such as starting your own business or working only 20 hours a week. The more concrete your goals are, the higher your chances of success. Set figures and deadlines. For example, determine how much you want to have saved for retirement and create a plan with intermediate goals to achieve it. This habit is like visualizing the end of a movie and then working to make it a reality, thereby achieving the long-desired financial independence. Habit 2. Find a well-paid job. This second step may seem obvious, but it's not as simple as it sounds. Getting a well-paid job requires training, skills, and experience beyond the norm. And even then, there's no guarantee of landing it. But this potential difficulty shouldn't deter you from seeking a well-paid job and continuing to build your professional skills while doing so. Alternatively, you could consider creating that well-paid job yourself through your own business to achieve the desired financial freedom. Indeed, being your own boss is one of the most secure ways to achieve financial independence. Nowadays, many who achieve it are entrepreneurs. However, depending on a salary is not a barrier to achieving it. Just keep in mind that a sufficient and stable income is the first pillar to achieving this independence. How else could you pay off your debts? Habit 3. Become a budgeting expert and learn to control yourself. Once you have the means from a well-paid job, the next pillar for building your financial freedom is mastering budgeting. There are basic principles you need to understand, such as that financial freedom is impossible if you spend more than you earn. Just as retiring without a savings plan during your productive years is also impossible. You must know exactly how much money is coming in and going out. But understanding a budget is more complicated. For example, you need to determine which debts to pay off first or how to invest extra earnings more profitably. Once you grasp these fundamentals, you must apply a good dose of self-control. The famous investor John Bogle, founder of the Vanguard Group, said that you could triple your income simply by controlling your spending and emotions. Therefore, this is another area you must master. You need to identify what makes you spend, when, and why you are more likely to go over budget. When you do this, it'll be easier to manage your wallet. The truth is that knowing the fundamentals of budgeting is useless if you don't know yourself. You must become an expert at controlling your impulses. Habit 4. Distribute your earnings into separate accounts. You've likely heard the saying about not putting all your eggs in one basket. This habit aims to have you distribute your earnings into separate bank accounts. The suggestion is to allocate one account for your monthly expenses, such as food, debt payments, or utility bills, while keeping the balance of another account for savings and investments. This is the basic rule. But you can also vary and include a third bank account dedicated to accumulating money solely for investments. If you're committed to the stock market, you might even have a fourth account for your emergency fund, a financial habit we'll discuss later. Returning to the point, this habit of multiple separate accounts will allow you to immediately monitor how much you're saving and spending, making it easier to discipline yourself not to exceed spending limits or to avoid unnecessary expenses. Depending on the bank where you keep your money, you can set certain rules for transactions between your accounts. For example, you could set up an automatic transfer of the monthly balance from your spending account to your savings account once it reaches a certain amount. This way, you won't mistakenly consider this excess as extra and spend it on things you don't need. On the other hand, this organization ensures you'll always have money available for all your needs, because after all, being financially independent doesn't mean being stingy with yourself. Habit 5. Pay off your debts. It may seem obvious that to improve your personal finances and achieve financial freedom, you should pay off your debts, but it's not as simple as it sounds. You need common sense, patience, and discipline. Start by listing all your debts from smallest to largest. Then, apply the snowball method. Start by paying off the smallest debt first, and as you eliminate it, use the freed up money to tackle the next smallest debt, and so on. This way, you avoid letting debts accumulate and turn into an uncontrollable snowball that ruins your finances. Habit 6, create an emergency fund. It's essential to understand that no matter how good you become at managing your finances, you can't predict emergencies or changes in fortune. What you can do is mitigate their effects. Thus, in the event of illness, job loss, or other calamities, you'll have a better chance of bouncing back in better shape than others. To do this, you need a safety net, or in personal finance terms, an emergency fund. This will allow you to keep paying bills if your primary income source fails. We suggest you discipline yourself by choosing a bank exclusively for depositing the portion of your earnings allocated to this fund. After all, the rule you should never break with your emergency fund is to not touch it except in emergencies, because this money isn't there for you to pay for dream vacations or the cosmetic surgery you've always wanted. It's there for emergencies. How much should you put there? Experts recommend that this fund should be at least equivalent to 6 months of total expenses, with the option to extend it a bit more. Habit 7, maximize retirement funds. Do you know the fable of the ant and the grasshopper? Let me summarize it. The grasshopper spent its time singing while the ant worked, saving provisions for the winter. When winter came, the grasshopper was in trouble, froze to death, while the ant was well prepared. Well, this habit is more about the ant than the grasshopper. The suggestion here is to make the most of certain financial products that make your retirement even more comfortable. This way, you'll be warm and secure when that tough winter of your life arrives. In other videos, we've mentioned some of these, like individual retirement accounts, IRAs in the US, Afore in Mexico, or simply pension plans. These funds are a way to build wealth. Additionally, your contributions are often tax deductible. Investigate if there are similar tools in your country and make sure to take full advantage of them. But keep something very much in mind. Your retirement fund manager should report your annual returns. And if they don't outpace inflation, change managers. Habit 8, invest extra income. It's very easy to fall into the temptation of spending extra money you didn't expect. This happens even to the most disciplined individuals in their financial habits. It's like a smoker's brain telling them, maybe you should celebrate a week without smoking with a cigar. Well, one way to avoid falling into this temptation is to have a plan. If you've already established how to invest extra income, you'll know what to do if you receive that unexpected bonus and avoid making the mistake of spending it. Extra income is the perfect opportunity for those who wanted to buy stocks, for example, but couldn't. A tax refund, a credit refund, or even an inheritance could be the boost to achieving your financial freedom. Just make sure you don't end up spending it all like Julia Roberts in Pretty Woman. Habit 9, seek passive income. This means you should make money work for you, even when you're not working for money. The cliche of earning money while you sleep isn't a myth. There are various ways to achieve this. Perhaps the most common is investing in stocks or bonds. These investments pay dividends without you having to work actively at them. Additionally, stocks increase in value as well. But if you can't invest in the stock market right now, don't be discouraged. The sharing economy offers other equally or more beneficial options. For example, you could offer online courses. After the initial work of creating and uploading it to the web, you'll just have to wait for users to download it from a platform paying for it. Another way is through a blog or website, though you'll need to build a significant amount of traffic or visitors first. Or through YouTube or podcasts, to name a few. Buying a property as an investment and renting it out is another way to create passive income that you should consider. Whether online or offline, finding ways for money to work tirelessly while you rest is how the wealthy build their fortunes. Habit 10, plan for tax payments. This habit focuses on developing a strategy for paying your taxes. This is impossible to do if you don't understand the subject. There are smart and legal ways to save money that you would otherwise give to the tax authorities. Consulting a professional is important, but remember that achieving financial freedom depends on you taking control of your money. So, while initial consultation is fine, the goal is for you to advance in the subject on your own. Organize and classify all your expense invoices for the fiscal year. Explore ways to reduce your tax burden through deductions and credits, and pay close attention to deadlines. In previous videos, we showed how to defer tax payments on your income using retirement funds or IRA accounts when we advised on maximizing your retirement funds. Achieving all this requires your attention and planning. The truth is that an accountant or tax attorney can handle this, but leaving it entirely in their hands without knowing the basics would be a poor habit if financial freedom is your goal. Therefore, education is extremely necessary. Habit 11. Explore the benefits of credit. This doesn't mean you should check your credit cards constantly. Let them rest in your wallet now and then. What this habit means is that you should pay attention to the benefits of having credit, not just the credit cards themselves. Remember that a good credit history can help you secure a substantial bank loan, start a business, obtain a mortgage, or simply increase your credit card limits, things that are useful in managing your finances. To develop this habit, you might find it helpful to weigh the pros and cons of having credit cards. On the plus side, they can be useful in emergencies and help build a credit history, as we mentioned earlier. On the downside, they can encourage overspending, have high interest rates and fees, and debts can quickly turn into that snowball effect we talked about earlier. The suggestion here is not to dismiss credit as a leverage tool and not to become a slave to it. Like all financial tools, this is one you should master, not the other way around. Habit 12. Be frugal with spending. Many millionaires who built their own fortunes are frugal. They spend on what's necessary. This is one of the most identifiable habits of these individuals. Take Mark Zuckerberg, for example. We often see him wearing jeans and unbranded t-shirts. Men like Warren Buffett or Carlos Slim, the richest Latino in the world, have had their primary homes for over 40 years. These are habits shared by other multimillionaires who also aim to be careful with every cent they spend. Some of these millionaires' practices could guide you. For example, they don't buy if they can rent, and they don't rent if they can borrow. Therefore, you should teach yourself to avoid ostentation. Do you really need a top-of-the-line model or dozens of pairs of shoes you'll only wear a few times? It's not about living like a pauper, but about not flaunting something you're not and spending a good portion of what you earn. For millionaires who made their own fortunes, this habit made them wealthier. Habit 13. Seek financial advice. Even experienced investors like Warren Buffett don't know everything. That's why we recommend the habit of seeking professional advice. Once you've accumulated enough wealth and want to grow it, proper guidance is crucial. The right advice can speed up your path to financial freedom, while poor advice can halt you indefinitely. Develop the healthy habit of consulting experts and using reliable sources for economic information. Reading Bloomberg or the Wall Street Journal is not the same as a WhatsApp group. Habit 14. Take care of yourself and invest in yourself. This habit doesn't mean you should spend on yourself by buying everything you see while browsing or visiting the mall. It means you should use a portion of your money to enhance your professional skills, those that will give you a better chance of increasing your income. Additionally, invest in your health. After all, perhaps the best investment you can make isn't in bonds or stocks, but in knowledge, continuous education, and preventing illness. The latter refers to eating healthily, exercising, and undergoing preventive medical checkups. An illness can wipe out the greatest wealth you've managed to accumulate, so taking care of your health is a good financial habit. And this goes beyond medical expenses that cause eventual suffering. Consider that, for example, expenses increase if you're obese or at risk of developing diseases due to unhealthy habits. Similarly, health problems could shorten your productive life by limiting your ability to accumulate resources for your future. Therefore, include taking care of your health as one of your top priorities. Habit 15. Don't neglect yourself. Financial freedom requires staying vigilant. It's not about working to the point of exhaustion, but being astute and attentive to how you manage your money, seizing opportunities, and maintaining prudence. Watching your expenses and investments grow month by month will be the greatest reward for your effort, perseverance, and willpower. Without this attitude, it's impossible to generate the wealth needed to achieve the freedom we're proposing. Which of these 15 habits will you start developing first? Remember, reaching a level of comfort requires effort. Discipline and patience are essential. Keep in mind that forming a habit can take between 2 to 6 months, and we are creatures of habit. So start today. Well, I hope you found this video amazing and useful. Here are 2 valuable videos. Remember, if you liked this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of our videos. See you